All right, welcome back to the Bizz. I'm your boy Daniels D Money up here in Simi Valley.
And I'm Aaron San Diego.
All right,
Up, everybody.
As you can see, we got a guest with us tonight. My man, introduce yourself.
E-Dub, Simi Valley.
Right, hailing
Never
from
heard
the
of it.
Simi Valley, Cali. That still don't sound cool. All right, so tonight we're going to discuss someone who was a little controversial last year, but we're not really sure how much controversy he's still, garnering, how much controversy he's causing. Colin Kaepernick. So my question is, after last year, he tried to audition to get back into the NFL, and there was some issues with the venue and all that stuff, right? And I know last week, Goodell stated, they're kind of moving on from Colin Kaepernick. So my question tonight is Colin Kaepernick done with the NFL, or is the NFL done with Colin Kaepernick? Dub, I'll let you hit that first.
Man, that's a tough one. I go back to his stats. I love looking at his numbers. Coming back from, I'll go back to Nevada. And this guy's, he's looking pretty good. I'll go with his final season, 2010. He's looking like 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Legit player coming out of the WAC. I don't know. He looks great. Doesn't get a lot of playing time up front, but in the end, he takes his team, the 49ers, all the way to the Super Bowl.
He did.
Player.
Super Bowl 47, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he definitely, if you're going to look at just his stats and what he's done in the NFL, he's definitely a capable quarterback, right? But, then the whole kneeling thing happened, and he obviously had a legitimate, thing that he was protesting against, social injustice and all that stuff, and not wanting to stand during the national anthem, and that caused all the controversy that eventually got him ushered out of the NFL, right? And quite a few things have happened since then. So,
is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing to take a knee? I don't know.
For me, I think Colin's done with the NFL. He's good enough to play in the NFL, but he's not really interested in football. I'm not against fighting for something off the field and using your platform to move ahead, but you still got to show up to work and do whatever your job is. I mean, you rattled off his stats, but this guy lost his job to Blaine Gabbert. Who? Exactly.
Yeah.
So
right.
I don't think he wants to play football because the talent is there. I think he wanted to be a martyr and go down in history as Martin Luther King 2.0.
Right.
But
Good point.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you on the point that I'm not really sure if football is his priority, because last year the NFL, they set it up for him. They said, listen, we're going to set up a workout for you. You come, Roger Goodell even said to all 32 teams, or Colin Kaepernick's representative said, we're ready to work out for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So the NFL set up a workout, certain time, certain place, you show up, and Colin Kaepernick, because he didn't like he wanted transparency, right? I don't think any reporters were allowed in or whatever. So he changed the rules of the game. And I think by him doing that, I think if I'm an NFL player and I'm ousted for whatever reason, and they're giving me an opportunity to get back in, you play by the rules. You follow the guidelines that they set up so you can get back playing the game, all right? So you can get back on the field. And I feel personally that what he did was like, a roadblock to all of that. It was, counterproductive to what he claimed he was trying to do, which is get back.
He definitely shot himself in the foot. Keep in mind, this isn't like a job at Starbucks. This is millions of dollars that I'm going to invest into you. So I kind of need you to be focused on football when you're on the football field.
What was his final salary? Over $100 million?
No.
I
don't know that he ever got paid like that. I mean, he wasn't eating top ramen. I'll say that.
Didn't he walk away from because when all this stuff happened, him not kneeling, or him kneeling, because at first he wanted to sit, but then, he spoke to that ex-Green Beret, Nate Boyer, who convinced him to kneel as a compromise. But was his contract up? Weren't the 49ers offering him, wasn't there $12 million on the table that he walked away from? It's not like
that was a signing bonus, yeah.
It's not like they released him and said, get out of town because of what's going on with you. I thought he could have stayed with the 49ers. Am I correct about that?
If I'm not mistaken, I think they restructured his contract down to a 2-year. Think about his 3 injuries. I think he had a thumb, shoulder, something else, right? And he's coming after Gabbert.
I saw him tap out because he's way better than Blaine Gabbert. And to lose your job, because Blaine Gabbert's completing passes to the same exact receivers. So I just saw him as, I saw it as he was done with San Francisco for whatever his reasons are. And, ends up suing the NFL. That's 60-something million there, right there. So he's not hurting for money. I just don't think football was his thing because the talent is there.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, the point I was trying to make, I think he was given opportunities. If I'm not mistaken, he went and worked out for the Seahawks, but he didn't want to be the backup. Obviously, he's not going to go into.
He went here first and wanted top dollar. Mm-hmm. And they said, no, bro, because I don't know if you're all in.
Right.
There's no such thing as part-time Martin Luther King. That's a full-time job if you're going to do it.
Right. Which brings me to the point where I don't mind him being, the spokesperson or the face of that movement, just not on the football field. Go out there, put on the helmet that has the big SF on it, right? And play the game. And then if you want to go out and stand for a cause, and be the face of a cause, because obviously I believe in the cause, right? Social injustice, black men are getting shot by police, which is back in the news yet again. So I'm with the cause, but I'm not with the platform on which he decided to,
I think it's an opportunity lost. Think about this. Let's say he was still playing for San Francisco. He's going from city to city each week. He can talk to people in each community, 16 different communities or 8 communities, wherever it is, and he could use this platform and he could do both.
Right.
Because he, free travel. Why not?
That's right.
But I think he's a missed opportunity to further his cause.
This addresses that right. We have the right to say what we want. But I think you're right, Daniels. We got to go with this the idea that he's got to put on the helmet, do work. But some coaches are willing to let him do that. Some owners would let him speak his piece. But I think there's a little bit of, sometimes we feel some pressure coming from different places. And maybe that's a good or a bad thing.
See, I think with that said, there is truth in that. I think the caveat is as long as you're winning. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can do, they let Brett Favre get away with anything. You can throw as many interceptions as you want, as long as we're winning.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So winning cures.
He brought the 49ers to a Super Bowl.
That defense, that team.
All right, so it was the defense, but he was the, let's say, game manager that was actually making it all happen, right?
He was good, but
hey,
there's talent there.
Garoppolo just did the same thing this past year. He, good quarterback, decent quarterback, and that defense got them to the Super Bowl. But he is the quarterback that was there, when, the Ravens, they played the Ravens Super Bowl 47. So he's capable. We know that. Here's my question, especially in light of all the COVID stuff that's going on. I was thinking about this today. We have people out there who are, the protesters, right? We did a show on it, where the protesters are saying they have the right to go out. It's unconstitutional for the country to force them to stay in. They should have the right to go out and live their lives without punishment. So my question is, I guess my next question, I've got a lot of questions. My question is, does Colin Kaepernick have the right to stand or kneel without punishment?
I don't know at the place of employment. No, you can't wear a Target uniform if you work at Walmart. Sorry.
Okay, I like that.
There are rules
about it in terms of that. All right.
You can't work at Burger King and preach McDonald's. You can't.
And I
You're an
get that.
employee.
And like I said earlier, I feel that the platform he chose, if he didn't do it while he was on the football field, like if this was his like an outside project, absolutely, you're right. But it does kind of circle back to, do I have the right to stand or sit during the national anthem? Does it matter? And I know a lot of, and I'm just, playing devil's advocate, but if I'm going to go out there and play the game, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get under center, I'm going to play this game as hard as I can play it. Does it really matter if I stand up during the national anthem?
That's a good point. I always got to go back to those stats, though, man. I wonder if he can make a cut. Do you think he's done?
It's about here. Physically, he's what, 34, 33? He's not very old.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, he's not old. So it's not the physical aspect. I mean, think about this. He hasn't played in a couple of years. He hasn't been hit. So he's healthy. He's just, as quarterback, I need you here more than anything.
Right.
Because he's one of the few quarterbacks that actually looked like they worked out. Him, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson. Well, Tom Brady does yoga, but you know what I mean. Like, he looks like he can do some damage in the weight room.
Don't be talking about my ex-quarterback.
Hey, speaking about your ex-quarterback, he looks really good on these stats, too. I mean, he's probably number one of all time, right? This guy's fantastic.
That's a whole nother argument that we don't need to have. We know what the stats say.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, you guys heard the buzzer. That's all our time for this night's segment of the Bizz. E-Dub, I'm glad you were here, man. Please know that anytime you want to come and join the Bizz, you are more than welcome. Step in. You got some topics you want to talk about? Yeah, man. You're always welcome. All right.
Hey, I gotta mention one last thing. So maybe for our next topic, in contrast to NFL, have you looked at the NBA? So what are those players doing? What are they allowed to say? I mean, they work for McDonald's, but talk Wendy's. I mean, look at LeBron. He's allowed to say his piece. This is a different organization.
True. Well, because he's
a lot more freedom, different structure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something we can definitely revisit for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm with it. All right, that's it for tonight. For those of you out there, if you like the show, please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be back again shortly with another episode of The Bizz. But for now, we're out.
The Bizz.